Welcome back, growers. It is Thursday, April 24th, and we're here to learn as we grow. Today's conversation is using your pantry to grow a garden. Before you throw out the sprouted onions, the soft potatoes, wait. You might be holding your next garden harvest right in your hands. We're turning pantry scraps into a thriving garden, and it's easier than you think. And bonus, lightning round packed with ideas at the end of the show. I want to hear from you. What do you grow from your pantry? Maybe you already do this. Hopefully, you get some new ideas. Let us know in the comments. We're going to start right away with green onions from sprouted or spoiled onions. Use softer sprouting onions, cut 1 to 2 inches above the roots, plant directly in soil or regrow in water, harvest greens repeatedly. So, what that means is there's actually all kinds of head form leafy vegetables that we can regrow from scraps. So, let's go through the steps for that. Leafy vegetables that grow in heads like your celery, romaine lettuce, bok choy. We're cutting off the plant's base, which you normally wouldn't eat. So you have that 1-inch piece. Place it cut side up in a shallow saucer and then add 1/2 inch of water. Refresh the water regularly. And so then you can see the growth comes out the top. So the bottom is the root part. That's what's in the water in the dish. Leafy scraps will grow in water on a sunny indoor windowsill, year round. You can also transplant them from water into soil as soon as they show roots and new green growth. So here's another picture of the rooted base of onion and celery growing quickly in shallow water. We have our bulb and bulb-like vegetables. So I have another slide here, page that's going to talk about green onions again. But for green onions, leeks, fennel, and lemongrass, cut off the end with tiny roots so you have the scrap about 1 inch tall. Place the root end down in water 1/2 inch deep. Be sure the water covers the roots, but not the top. Keep the water fresh, and a supply of shoots will follow. For a mature bulb onion, scraps grow best when directly into soil instead of water. Cutting the root base about 1 inch thick and then plant it in a soil-filled container or into your outdoor garden. As with leafy vegetable scraps, cover the roots and base with soil, but keep the top exposed. Now, they also talk about root crops and root-like veggies, so turnips and beets, where you can plant the root and then you're just going to eat the greens. I've seen this done outside where someone plants a beet, a full mature beet, and then it'll put new green growth on top, and they eat that and they harvest that. So if we go to the green onion specifically, here's the picture of how to prep it. Trim each green onion an inch or two above the center piece. Keep the top portion of the chopped green onion to eat. And then here's that bottom part. You're going to place it in your cup of water. Okay. Changing the water every 2 to 3 days or every day. And the tops will start to regrow right here. It could take 1 to 2 weeks. You can cut the new growth and start over with fresh bottoms. Now, I'm not a huge green onion person, to be honest. I do have chives. I don't know if that counts. This one is a picture of them putting it in soil and having the regrowth happen. There's also your garlic from the cloves themselves, right? Because you have your head of garlic, and then each clove is what you actually plant to get a whole nother head of garlic. So you can use sprouted garlic or just individual cloves that don't look like they have a sprout coming out of them. Plant pointy side up. It grows best in well-draining soil and full sun. Now with garlic, in my area, I have to plant hardneck garlic. We plant it in October, November. It grows till July. It has a scape that we pick off. before it's fully mature, and we aim for large size garlic heads. If you're just now here in April taking a clove and putting in a container, you're still going to get garlic. You're definitely going to get the green, and you're just not going to get a large sized head. Now, I don't know how to grow soft net garlic. I don't know what the planting times are for that. Maybe you grow soft net garlic and and you can let us know about all the ways to handle that. If you get a big clove, if you plant it now in April, in a couple months, I have no clue. Let's see who's with us. We had Gandalf checking in. I wish there was a choice on the poll for videos and lives. Well, speaking your opinion here in the chat counts as voting on the poll for to me to I'll rewatch and take note of. We have a vote for videos and lives, right? Because it's not going to be just one or the other. I just want to get a feel for what is the content people look for most when coming to Shawnee Grows. Hello, Scott. Good to see you. Janet Potter says, I have 3 onions growing. I got the scraps from my neighbor. Ooh, that is awesome. I like that a lot. I have, you can see right here, an onion that we got at the onion farm, and it's now alive. So what I'm going to do is, like, here's the root. I'm just sticking this whole thing up to here in soil when it's safe to do that outside, which I think now, it'd be now. And this will grow up and flower and make seeds. And I'm going to keep the seeds to plant and see if it works. These are a lot tougher, harder. Like if you were to grow these to eat them, it's not like a green onion, to me at least. Maybe there's people out there that would eat that. I want to grow it just to make a flower and to make some seeds. Why not? I have a whole bunch. I have like probably 10 that are doing that right now. We can't forget about our potatoes. They might get the sprouted spud eye, and or they might just be wrinkling and shriveling. I don't cut them into chunks. That's an option here on the screen. I just leave them whole, and I let them have some exposure to light. Like I just put them out in my kitchen so the sprout gets strong. Because if you have a really long, white, leggy sprout, that's not ideal. Yes, it works, but when that eye makes that sprout, I want it to be strong. And so I just plant that whole thing. It's great for containers or raised beds. It's a wonderful way for one to turn into many, right? But the sweet potato is different. It is for a slip. So I do have, you're not gonna be able to see this, I'm sure. See that right there? The slip. Placing it into soil and letting a slip grow out. Once this slips sprout, separate it from this mother and keep it going. And if you want to get more, and then you can keep those in your house for next year. You can have them potted up in a pot or some water. And the ones that you want to plant outside, stick them outside when the time is right. I don't have a super long growing season, and my slips should be fully like developed by now if I wanted to be serious about this, but I'm not. This is just a magically happy accident. And so if it makes a pretty slip, I will keep it healthy, hopefully, in a vase or soil in the house and see what happens. I don't have experience with sweet potatoes, so for all you experts in the South, go ahead and put your advice in the chat for everyone. Of course, there's ginger and turmeric from the rhizome, the root, right? They say soak before planting. Plant them horizontally, right? And they definitely need warmth. So this is a shallow planting, and this one is the turmeric. So yeah, you plant it like flat instead of upright, and it grows these claws out of it, and it turns into this. And when the timing is right, it will go in a shady spot outside in a bigger container. I don't want to bonk this one. This is the ginger. It's just starting to get happy. So like the ginger is still even exposed at the top right there. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not, but it's just now starting to like make the leaves come out. If you have an organic store or a co-op, somewhere that sells things that haven't been sprayed, that's how we can grow from our pantry for these types of things. There's also the conversation of citrus from seed, like lemon, lime, orange. Using fresh seeds, peel the seed coat for faster germination, needs warmth, moisture, and patience. I have never done this. I do have a blip to read about fruit trees from a seed in general that I will read after this one. We're talking about apples, pears, and stone fruits from seeds as well. Requires stratification, which is the chill period. There's ways to do that. I've done putting the seed in soil in the fridge, like a bag of soil. So it has that cold chill time. Otherwise, I have winter here, so I can use outside for chill time too. Obviously, planting multiple seeds for best chance for results, and it might not grow true to the parent, but it's still fun. So with the fruit tree conversation, there's this guy that's sort of I'm going to use the word expert. It's the survivalgardener.com. We can quickly read what he has to say. Some citrus will take quite a while to produce from seed, as long as 8 to 10 years. However, there are produce fruit from seed in as little as 3 years, such as the calamondins. Apples and pears can take quite a while to produce fruit unless you graft onto them. Peaches and other stone fruit are usually very quick producers. Um, you can take the pit and open it up and have the seed out, and it can get 6 feet tall the first year and be fruiting by the next, in his experience. Loquats take around 6 years. Pomegranates can fruit in 3 years. Chestnuts can fruit from a seed in 3 years. A walnut or pecan can take a decade or more. A decade or more from seed. Coconuts take a few years, but it might not fruit for a decade. I definitely don't have coconuts on the grow list here in Minnesota. And then soap nut trees can fruit in 3 years. Coffee trees can fruit from seed in 3 years. Now, if you want to read more about what the survival gardener has to say for like the key to growing fruit trees from seed, maybe a process breakdown, the link is in the description for what that looks like. Before I continue, I will jump back into chat. Wanda, hey, how's it going? We're talking about growing a garden from your pantry. We're going to have a mega list here at the end, lightning round, stick around. Janet says, make sure you keep sweet potatoes in a container or you will have to go on a sweet potato hunt. Nice tips. Gandalf says, yeah, most apples we buy are from cloned trees. Yes. Or it's like 2 different parents together. And so you're not going to get that same tree again. I am not patient enough or brave enough or have confidence to grow fruit trees from seed. I get all my fruit trees bare root is the first option. Second option is potted in a container if I have to, which I've had to at sometimes. Miss Sharon, welcome to our conversation. Live chatter, all messages, y'all. Good to see you. I have been releasing some podcasts while I've been away from live streams, so you can still kind of get your little Shawnee Grows fix if you want to listen to me talk. I've been releasing those more frequently than in the past because life's been busy and I haven't had the option to spend time with you guys live, but I am here now. So we also have herbs in the category of what can we grow from our pantry, right? So herbs from cuttings, basil, mint, rosemary, using fresh store-bought herbs if you want. Otherwise, maybe your neighbor has a established herb garden. You're rooting them in water or soil or sand. These are great options for windowsill or kitchen gardens. The best herbs to propagate perennial herbs in the Lamiaceae family, like The mint plant family propagate really well from cuttings. Rosemary, oregano, sage, thyme, lavender, and mint all produce roots fairly quickly when placed in water or sand. There's also an annual herb that's basil. You've maybe noticed that if you put the stem of basil in a jar of water, it grows roots super fast. There's a couple different methods for how to propagate the herbs, and it kind of depends on the type of stem you're using, right? Herbs in the mint family are often called woody herbs, unlike soft herbs like the dill or cilantro. Um, Sometimes it's important to identify what is a woody stem and what is a soft stem on the herb itself, because that might determine where you're cutting for the propagation. So you can propagate from hardwood, which is firm and will snap if you bend it, but you'll get faster propagation from softwood, which is often found at the tip of stems and can be bent without breaking. I've been told a lot of times to use the new growth, the soft growth, right? So let's get into steps. Step one, select only the very best stems, the healthiest, freshest looking ones. Remember, you want soft cuttings about 4 to 6 inches long for the water method. Look for the spot where the stem transitions from soft to hardwood and use your scissors or pruners to cut there, just above a leaf node, cutting the stem at a 45-degree angle. Preparing the cuttings for propagation. Once you have your cuttings, strip the bottom third of the leaves off because you want just that big stem uh, exposed. Placing the stem in the water allows the plant to focus more on growing roots. Your cutting might look a little bare, but don't worry, they will grow new leaves soon enough. So putting them in water, only the stem should be submerged. If you have the leaves touching the water, it leads to mold or mildew, which is going to mess up your health of your plant, right? Place your cutting somewhere that doesn't get too hot or cold, in a spot with filtered sunlight, like your kitchen window. Over the next 10 to 14 days, just keep an eye on the cutting. Change out the water every couple of days so it doesn't get cloudy. Remove any molded or yellowing leaves. Um, there's usually at least one stem that falls into the water or can't reach the water, so just cleaning it up as you see that happen. And at the end of the second week, you can look to see if there's roots established. You can then keep playing the game of putting it in water and everything, or you can pot it up in soil. Here is a cutting of rosemary. You can see how much growth is. It's that new soft growth, and they've taken the leaves off of the stem at the bottom, and they placed it directly into sand instead of doing the water method. So if anyone's propagated herbs, we'd love to hear from you about all of that. Miss Sharon, I'm trying to get a mango from a grocery store seed. Wow. I know that I had gotten some plums from a farmer's market, and it wasn't a typical type of plum that you would see. Um, like it was little. And so it had a pit, and then we opened the pit very delicately. There was like a whole process so you didn't split the seed, and we had the seeds, and we were trying to like paper towel wet them, germinate them, and we didn't get very far with that. We just kind of forgot about it or didn't want to keep up with it, or maybe I was supposed to cold stratify it. It just didn't. It went wonky. That's why I just buy bare root trees at this point. But hey, Janet Potter says, I started a lemon tree from seed. It was big enough to put in the ground. Ah, Yeah, I'm waiting for my orange and pink grapefruit to get big enough to put in the ground. You have so much patience. And that's lovely that you can grow citrus. I would have to bring it inside in the winter if I wanted to do that. And of course, there's your beans and lentils, your dry goods. Sprout dry beans from the pantry, soak overnight, plant in soil, they grow fast, they fix nitrogen, right? So if you've made it this far, here's the bonus round, okay? Popcorn, which I have. This one's the one I have open out without spilling. It's like a blue or purple variety. Plant your popcorn. Your dry beans, which I didn't dig that out. I've showed that here before. Dry peas, dry chickpeas, dry lentils, dry fava beans. Those are seeds, okay? Now, of course, there's your melons, eggplant, winter squash, tomatoes. The reason this would work is it's a fully matured seed inside of these fruits, vegetables at the store. So one that doesn't work would be a cucumber. A cucumber is not a fully mature seed inside. We know if you've grown a cucumber before, when it gets really big and starts to turn yellow orange, that is a mature cucumber. You're not going to eat that. You're only using the seeds inside of it. So if you taste a watermelon or a honeydew melon or a cantaloupe that you love at the store, save the seed inside, save all the seeds inside and grow them. Eggplants, winter squash, tomatoes, all of that. It works. Also, have you ever thought of this? Using your bird seed? Sunflower seeds, millet, sorghum, corn, peanuts. Grow a garden from your bird seed. Maybe it happens accidentally. Anybody have random sunflowers from the birds? If you're a bird feeder fella. Even your spice cabinet, right? So like here I've got, maybe I won't move them. These here, I have celery seed and fennel seed on the shelf. Some ideas would be dill seed, coriander, mustard seed, the celery seed. And then maybe you have wheat berries because you like to grind and mill your own flour. That's the seed, right? And then we also have examples of quinoa and amaranth here behind me. You can plant those and get food again from them. Of course, the grocery store produce, the food at a restaurant, deadheading things on the way into buildings like a flower. Save the seeds, take them home, right? I think that's perfectly acceptable. You have a salad with a pepper, a whole pepper, and inside are the seeds. Save the seeds and grow the pepper and see what happens. You have tomatoes that you really liked from the grocery store. Grow them anyways, even if it's not organic or heirloom. Maybe it is a hybrid. Just try it. Just try it, right? You've already got it. You've already paid for it. Save the seeds and grow it. Maybe some of you have experience with this. Miss Sharon says, remember to hit the thumbs up. Miss Sharon says, I had that happen from the bird feeder. I was shocked. And it makes perfect sense. It's a seed, right? Gandalf says, when I was young, my dad bought some cheap bird seed and lots of weird flowers grew from it. Flowers, huh? Well, I mean, everything will flower eventually. Wow. Seed. Yes. Okay. I read it right with the correction. So yes, we do have that poll going. What do you want to see from Shawnee Grows? Live streams all the way, podcasts to listen to, videos doing stuff, which are much harder to make with my lifestyle. And it's going to be easier once we have things to video. um, it's not quite planting time right now. Like there are things I've done outside in the garden, but nothing to video about. And then shorts are quick and easy. Of course, you can. Is there a kid awake? You can chime in the chat on your opinion if the poll doesn't satisfy your answer. All of the above, says Miss Sharon. Whatever you can get, right? Janet Potter says, I already ate my small watermelon and it was delicious and had lots of seeds. seeds. Is it seeds? Oh, here it is. Lots of seeds that I planted. Great. Yeah, it's like you don't have to order a lot of stuff. Like if you can just grow what you have to start out or to keep going or any of it. There's all these different ways. Hey, Serena and Norel, we're talking about grow a garden from your pantry. We have examples of things behind us here. We've gone through all the material already. This is a quick and easy one. Wanda Hendry says, I love wildflowers. I do too. I did a wildflower seed haul live stream on a previous episode. Catch the replay where I showed all of what was in the blends that I picked up. And I'm really excited to spread them. End of May, beginning of June is kind of when we can plant here. You plant a lot of wildflower seeds. I have so many areas where I'm like, we should try it here. We should try it there. Because they just kind of take care of themselves. When you let them produce the flower, produce the seed head, it drops the seeds, it stores and takes care of itself with a mix of perennials in there. Right. So if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe for more gardening chats. Check out the description for links to articles. There's articles in the description that I did not show, that I did not talk about, but are filled with good information, and there are people you've probably seen around YouTube before. If I share images, I put those links in the description. Sometimes I'll have links to tools or other videos if you're that kind of learner for the topic that we have. As well as check out Learn as You Grow podcast. It's right here on YouTube. You don't have to go to Spotify or iHeartRadio or Pandora or Amazon Music. It's in my YouTube channel. And I've been releasing more of those this week because I haven't been able to go live and dedicate the time to it. But we do have some ideas. If we can find some time for upcoming live streams, we're going to do creative strawberry beds, exotic spices to grow at home, and we're going to try and talk about edible landscaping. It's like, where is the line of you're just putting a garden there, or is it landscaping? I'm a little struggling on, well, it's just you're just growing a garden there to me, right? So we can talk through that on a future live stream. Let's see. Serena says, my mini spoon tomato plant is the tallest one, even though it's a micro tomato plant, and I started them all at the same time. Wow, a mini spoon tomato plant. That's really cool. Wanda says, I also love hydrangeas. I planted a vanilla strawberry hydrangea in my butterfly garden on Earth Day. Who planted on Earth Day? Let me know. Gandalf says, I prefer native flowers. And then there's like invasive species, right? There's a flower, Siberian squill or something, that I planted, and I planted it in 2 different properties, and everyone in the gardening group that I'm in from Minnesota is like, it's because it takes over. I don't know. It's so tiny. I guess we'll find out. Thank you, Miss Sharon, for being here and sharing all the links to people's channels and the stuff I talk about. Appreciate the time you spend here with us. Serena says, since brown sugar is an interdeterminate tomato plant, I'm surprised it's not taller. Right? The fun science and Wanda says, I just ordered 2 metal raised beds. Woo! That's exciting. Miss Sharon says, I planted peppers on Earth Day. I also planted a fruit cocktail tree. It has 2 types of peaches, a nectarine, and an apricot grafted onto one. And it's a very risky tree for my zone. It might not make it, but I thought I'd try. Wanda says, they're 12 feet long, 4 feet wide. And you're expanding the garden this year. Every year we should expand in some way, right? Whether it's a little bit more containers on the deck or a vertical growing system by the house or building a new stone bed. Janet says, I want to make my backyard east side a food forest and my northern side as many trees as possible. I love the dreaming. I love the planning. I like that you've established zones for specific types of what you want. Gandalf says my peppers aren't big enough to plant yet. My grow station that I have in my house has 100 plants in it. And that I didn't realize that was my max capacity until I did the math today because I'm running out of room. I have now taken my celery outside, my starts, and I'll have to bring them in. I think tomorrow night it's going to be kind of too cold for them, but there's no room inside for them, and I didn't math this out accordingly. I was up potting tomatoes today is how I figured this out, and I still have some tomatoes in cells that need to be in a pot, and I don't have any room for them. And I can't plant tomatoes and peppers outside till the end of May. And the other problem I'm having is my peppers are growing too tall. I can't take the lights up anymore. I only have this much space. And so they're getting too close to the lights. It's a bunch of stressful situations with my plant babies over here. We do have storms tonight in some states. I think I see us talking about it here in the chat. Richard, good morning. How does it grow over there? Wanda says, I agree. I have 40 buckets. Man, I am looking at inventory between, like, I was moving stuff from this property to the offsite garden that's garden related, and I have stacks of containers. And it's like, do I donate these to another gardener? It's like little ones. Or do I keep them? Because I could put something in them, possibly. Like, here we go. Serena says the storm should be in Oklahoma by 1:20 a.m. I'm in Norman, just south of here. I know that Ryan Hall is live talking about tornadoes. I think it was Texas. There's all kinds of severe weather going on. I know that Monday I might be seeing some severe thunderstorms, and I'm super excited about it. Bring it on. So stay safe, stay aware, be prepared, all the things. Wanda says, and 6 small raised beds. Oh, 602 subscribers, right? I know, it's exciting. Our watch hours have slowed down because I haven't been live, and that's just the way it's gonna have to be. Wanda cannot plant till after June 9th because of the frost. We might be able to plant earlier than the end of May. For sure, June is when I like to do tomatoes and peppers because then the soil for sure is warm enough. Because it's really risky. And it's like if I've been growing these since April, I don't want to take risk, right? I want them to be okay. And Janet says, I keep all containers. I know. I have a stack of them now. And today, so when I was up potting, I found some cracked ones. I did throw the cracked ones away or recycled, whatever I did with them. So I am doing that. Richard says, used the flow bins and got peas, cucumbers, and butternuts planted. Woo! I have planted lettuce, kale, Swiss chard. What was the other one? Oh, I don't know. Lettuce, kale, Swiss chard. It was a green thing. I don't know what it was. There was 4 little areas in a food forest that I did, I'm pretty sure. And then I did 2 trenches of onions, and they look very terribly bad. Like something was in there, and then we had a bunch of rain, and I have a million more starts because I overseeded, and they all like took in my 5x5 trays, so I can just put more everywhere in the garden. We did plant our potatoes that we had saved, which is a very small amount. I wasn't going super serious on potatoes this year. And then when I was doing this cleaning out project that I told you about, I found a bucket of little ones that have sprouted. So they're actually in the container in the garden shed. I haven't planted them yet because we have been busy as a family, but I will get to it. Serena says, in the morning, about an hour before sunrise, there will be a moon, Venus and Mercury in the sky. The smiley face, if you haven't heard about it, check it out. You need to be away from light pollution. Binoculars are a plus to see the smiley face happening. Miss Sharon says, so far I have planted squash, okra, peppers, and bush beans. Wow. Outside? It's so different than here. Wanda says, this year I'm really hoping my Brussels sprouts grow good. That is a tough crop for me. I have never successfully done Brussels sprouts. Janet says, Serena, thanks for the heads up. I will get my binoculars ready. Yes. Eyes on the space. It's fantastic. And yes, dropped the seeds. Wow. Wow. Right now it's like plant your strawberries, like the why can't I think of it? Crowns, like the rooted plants already. Plant the rhubarb, which I still haven't picked out which rhubarb to go buy and plant. I haven't seen the asparagus up yet. I have seen the walking onions up. The walking onions are tall. The garlic is this tall right now. I got a bunch of raspberries planted. There was a honeyberry, I think that's what it is awake. Trees are starting to wake up. We did wood chips the other day on trees. Well, the wild strawberries, Gandalf, they don't get big and they don't taste good. That's if that's what I think you have. Serena says, what does a grape do when you step on it? It just lets out a little whine. Miss Sharon says to Serena, it will be here around 3:30 Eastern. Too much rain and clouds to see it, though. Ah, yes. Okay, Gandalf does know about the wild strawberries. Okay, so the poll says 60% live streams all the way. It's the easiest way for me to get it out to you, to the audience, to everyone. 20% was videos doing stuff, 20% was shorts quick and easy. If I had time to figure things out, I could take content that I've talked about in a live stream and turn it into a short video or a short, but ain't no time for that right now. I am going to end the poll because we are going to end the live stream here. So there's that. And I hope I have encouraged you to grow food in a different sense, things that are already in your pantry to grow from. Wanda is saying, I started 5 years ago with 12 raspberry plants. I now have over 100? What? I started my raspberries when? My oldest is gonna be 7. My youngest is 4. I don't know which kid I planted them with. Was it the middle? He's 5. And then I just moved them off of this property and I'm waiting to see if I've missed some because I have missed some tulips and some strawberries. They're up. So now that I've seen them, I can move them. Richard says, so blessed. The little alleyway where junk used to go to die is becoming a garden. Rainwater harvesting system is getting serviced and cleaned, but it's 177 gallon. That's a lot. I only have a 50-gallon barrel set up that's full right now, and I usually set up a second barrel that's 50 gallons on the other end of the property. Janet Potter says, does anyone have any idea the difference between raspberry and blackberry flowers? I planted both and didn't mark them. Well, I'm not growing blackberries at my site, but I have them in the world around me in the forests and stuff. So let's see if we can figure out a distinct difference. I mean, because you're saying the canes look the same. Because are they blooming at the same time? Okay, so doing a quick research without digging, it says the blackberry flower is the larger flower. It can measure 2 to 3 centimeters, where the raspberry flower is the smaller, half a centimeter to 1.5 centimeters. Also, the raspberry flowers might have more of a magenta hue inside of them, but I think I would go based on the size. And then let's see. It looks like the shape is pretty similar. And the bloom time is similar. It sounds really close. It's hard to tell. Get them labeled this time, right? I mean, the stem color, this is saying blackberries have a green or tan cane, and the raspberry cane is more of a purple. Obviously, when the fruit develops, you'll know, right? Yes, Miss Sharon says, thank you all for joining us. Wanda says, do you have plant identification? That's for Janet. Like an app? Are you talking about a plant app? Crazy Life Homestead. Hello. We are on our way out saying our goodbyes. We talked about growing a garden from your pantry. We talked about all kinds of fun ways that it works. Serena says, I have thornless Navajo and Arapaho blackberry bushes planted as of a month ago. Oh, they're brand new. Is it going to be a year before roots are developed enough for them to come out of dormancy? I've never grown blackberries before. I'm assuming that they will leaf, and it depends if the fruit is produced on the first year cane or if it's on the second year cane. I don't know anything about blackberries. Janet says to Wanda, I do not. Well, I would for sure measure the flower size. And of course, as you get fruit, mark it when you remember to. The app that I use for plant identification is called PlantNet. And apps can't all be trusted. So take it with a grain of salt. Oh my goodness, Radio Jonesy on tour. Boomerang. Hey, we're on our way out. We're saying goodbye. We talked about growing a garden from your pantry. Catch the replay for all the fun ideas. Like Crazy Life Homestead would. I have things on display that we talked about. It's good to see you. Wallaby. So my son was playing Guess What I Am while we were at the Children's Theater and Art Museum for our field trip, and he was a wallaby for one of the lovely guessings. Wanda says, is it have a good day? Is that what that is? Shawnee, everyone have to get God bless. Oh, DCBs. I believe it takes a winter for good root penetration. For the blackberry. Good to see you, by the way. Yeah, PlantNet is an app I've worked with on my Android phone to identify things. They were bought from Sam's Club, says Serena. It's good to see you, DCBs. Hope all is well over there. You guys got to all catch the replay. I'm on my way out to say goodbye. I'll see you live again soon. We have things to talk about like strawberry, ways to grow strawberries, different bed ideas that are creative, edible perennials, and exotic spices to grow at home. Janet says they could both be blackberry. It was an experiment, one in hydroponics and one in a container, and they're both blooming. Well, now you will have to keep us updated when the fruit forms. What is happening over there? Yeah, it was pretty adorable. Serena says, anyone here going to the Lake 10 Killer meetup this weekend to meet fellow YouTube channel creators and members? I am not, but someone in the chat might. Thank you for reminding people to hit the thumbs up on our way out. Yeah. Thanks for chit-chatting. I didn't think it would go this long. We got 44 minutes in, and I do have to go, though. And so remember to subscribe to see these future live stream conversations we're going to have. And always grow every day in every way. Learn as you grow, everybody.